Dear students, very good morning. In this video, I am going to discuss the very important topic related with the automatic load frequency control. It is the static performance of speed governor system. So before we start with this topic of static performance of speed governor system, so let us first, we are thankful to Vaheguru. Vaheguru gives us the light and takes us from the darkness to the light of divine knowledge. Electrical engineering is also lightens the whole world. It takes us from the darkness to the lightened cities. So, static performance of speed governor system. The static performance of speed governor system can be obtained by the block diagram representation of single area load frequency control system, which is shown below. So I have taken this from the resource which is available on the internet, tripleguide.com. You can also see the source, internet source there. Now if we talk about this block diagram representation, so you can see we have different blocks here. So these blocks represent a different transfer function of various components. For example, this block represents the transfer function of speed governing system. KSG is the gain of speed governing system. TSG is the time constant of speed governing system. KT is the gain of turbine system, and TT is the time constant of turbine system. This block represents the this block represents the transfer function of turbine system, and this block represents the transfer function of generator load system. KPS is the gain of power system. TPS is the time constant of power system of the generator load system. R is the regulation in which we are interested in this video. We will discuss the significance of R, how R, which is the regulation of speed governing system, how it is important, how it is able to vary the how it is able to take the most steam whenever it is required, whenever the frequency decreases, and what is its unit, how to set the regulation of a generator, and one important thing, when the different generators share the load in parallel, what should be the similarity, how the R should be similar in that case. So all these things are discussed in this video. If we see here, this is delta PCS, important quantities delta PCS. So all this is in S domain. Delta PCS is the change in speed changer position in S domain, and this is delta Y. This should be delta YE. Delta YE is the change in steam valve position in S domain. So for the speed governing system, we have the two inputs. Positive input is delta PCS, and negative, which has been taken from the feedback, is 1 by R delta FS. So delta PCS minus 1 by R delta FS, this signal has been fed, multiplied with KSG and divided by 1 plus TSG into S. It gives the output delta YES. So the output of speed governing system is change in steam valve setting. So steam valve opens or closes in response to the input from speed changer and in response to the negative feedback from the regulation uh, block 1 by R and multiplied by delta Fs. Delta Fs is the frequency represented in S domain. Now the input from the output from the speed governing system has been fed as the input to the turbine system. So turbine output increases when steam valve is opened, and turbine output decreases when steam valve closes. The turbine change, this block diagram and the whole automatic load frequency control system representation is in terms of changes only. So here we talk about the whatever change occurs in the system. So turbine power output which has been obtained, it is same as the generator electrical power which has been, because turbine power output and generator power output, electrical power output, there is difference is of the losses are neglected here. So neglecting losses, the turbine power output is same as the generator electrical power output, because turbine feeds the mechanical power from the turbine feeds the generator, which is converted into electrical power output of the generator, but there are losses in between which has been neglected for the sake of simplicity. So delta PDS is equal to delta PGS. So this is the positive signal which has been fed to the generator load system. The negative signal which is fed to the generator load system is change in power demand, delta PDS. So the difference delta PGS minus delta PDS has been fed to the generator load system, KPS divided by 1 plus TPS, and it gives the frequency as the output. So this is the block diagram representation of load frequency control system. With this knowledge, we move to the how the steady state or how the static performance of speed governance system is obtained. Now static performance or steady state performance means it means that whenever the dynamics are settled down, because it is not actually static system, it is a dynamic system. So from static system we mean that whenever the dynamics involved in this system are settled down under final conditions, under steady state conditions, what will be the position, what will be the changes which occur in the system. So in order to analyze it first dynamically, we just take its qualitative analysis. Let us consider that there happens to be change in the load demand, there happens to be increase in the load demand by small amount. Whenever load demand increases, what happens that in that case more power is required to be taken from the generator side. That's why more power is taken from the turbine side. But speed changer cannot change its position instantaneously, momentarily, hence speed changer position is same. There is no change in speed changer position, it cannot change momentarily. Now generator needs more power so that it can fed to the increase in demand. In that case what happens that the energy has been taken from the rotating parts of the turbine generator system. Means the kinetic energy which is stored in the rotating parts, the energy will be borrowed from that rotating parts, and that borrowed energy will be fed to the load, to the increase in load demand. So when energy has been taken from the kinetic energy, it means naturally what will happen, the kinetic energy will reduce. It means the speed will reduce or frequency will reduce. So with the reduction in speed and frequency, this feedback system comes into the picture, and due to the decrease in frequency which is sensed by the speed regulation system, so it opens the steam valve. So when steam valve is opened, what will happen, more power, more steam will be input, and it increases the turbine power output. So with this, what happens that generation and load will be balanced, and frequency will settle down at some lower value from the initial value of frequency. So here we consider two types of systems, in which number one, delta PCS is 0, and number two means delta PCS is not 0. So when delta PCS is 0, it is known as free governor operation. So when delta PCS is 0 in free governor operation, whenever there is no change in speed changer setting is there, the frequency, final frequency will be different from the initial frequency. Final frequency will be less when load demand has been increased. There is positive change in load demand, there will be negative change in frequency. And whenever there is negative change in load demand, there will be positive change in frequency. If we change the speed changer setting, then final frequency will be same as the initial frequency. Now let us move to the steady state analysis, and these some certain points. Steady state analysis is same as static performance analysis. So I have written here certain points which are worth noting. So the model of figure 8.6 shows that there are two important incremental inputs to the load frequency control of single area system. Minus delta PCS, the change in speed changer setting; PD, the change in load demand. I think this minus should not be there. It's only delta PCS. Let us consider a simple situation in which speed changer has fixed setting. So there is a speed changer setting is fixed, then delta PC is equal to 0, and there happens to be change in load demand. This operation is known as free governor operation. Now in this free governor operation, what we consider, for such an operation, the steady change in system frequency for a sudden change in load demand by an amount. Now we consider that there is a step change in, sudden change or step change in load demand. Whenever there is step change in or sudden change in load demand, it is represented as delta PDS is equal to delta PD by S. So S domain representation is equal to the constant value divided by the S. Now in order to obtain delta Fs, we again goes to this block diagram system. So in this block diagram system, first of all we obtain the value of delta PGS. So delta PGS or delta PTS is obtained as follows. It is delta PCS minus 1 by R delta Fs, which is the error signal which is obtained here. It is multiplied by KSG KT over 1 plus TSGS 1 plus TTS, and it gives the delta PTS or delta PGS, right? So this is the first equation. Second equation is how delta Fs is obtained. For obtaining delta Fs, we have positive signal delta PGS and negative signal delta PDS. Error signal is delta PGS minus delta PDS multiplied by KPS over 1 plus TPS into S, and the output is delta Fs. So second equation is this, and then what we do in the equation number 1, the equation number 1 corresponds to the obtaining is delta PGS. So this delta PGS values, whole values put here in equation number 2, and when we put here, so this is my delta PGS minus delta PDS multiplied by KPS over 1 plus STPS is equal to delta Fs. Here I will put the delta PCS is equal to 0 because of the free governor operation, and this equation number 3 will be modified as follows. Now what I will do, I will expand, open up this bracket, and delta Fs will be taken on one side, and after these modifications, after these modification in the equations, what I will do, that I will obtain the value of delta Fs. So students are required to verify these equations at their own level, so that you are able to go through all these steps. These steps are not available in that triple E guide, or not available in any book, but I have obtained these steps. I have myself obtained these steps by just typing on the paper, and then I have converted the PowerPoint representation. So ultimately what I will get is delta Fs. So delta Fs is obtained as follows. Now by the final value theorem, I will obtain the value of steady change in frequency for delta Pc is equal to 0, which is as follows: S delta F, S tends to 0, delta PCS is equal to 0, and it gives me this equation 8.15. So equation numbers are not consistent because I have taken the various equations from various resources. While the gain Kt is fixed for turbine and Kps is fixed for power system, now we are actually more interested about the speed governor system. The Kt, which is the gain of turbine, and Kps, which is the gain of power system, these are fixed values. Ksd, the speed governor gain, is easily adjustable by changing the lengths of various links of the linkage mechanism. You can see the schematic diagram of the speed governing system. It is commonly available in books, and we have already discussed in some previous class. Let it be assumed for simplicity that KSG is so adjusted that KSG Kt is approximately equal to 1. So we can have adjustments so that our equation may become simplified, and we may come out to be close to the R, so where we are interested. So after these changes, what we are getting is delta F. It is also recognized that Kps is equal to 1 by B, where B is equal to delta Pd by delta Pf over R. It is per unit megawatt per unit change in frequency. B is just opposite to R. B is related with the power system and R is related with the speed governor system. So ultimately by these changes what we get, delta F is equal to minus 1 by B plus 1 over R into delta PD. So B has same as 1 over R. The significance of B and significance of 1 by R is same. But the thing is B is very much negligible as compared to 1 by R. The above equation gives the steady state change in frequency caused by changes in load demand. Speed regulation R is naturally so adjusted that changes in frequency are small, of the order of 5% from no load to full load. So it's very important point that how much change in frequency occurs. It is very less, not very large. Speed regulation is approximately say of the order of 5%. Say if we have the 100% 100% frequency at full load, then at no load what will be the frequency? It will be 105%. When we decrease the load, the frequency increases. At full load we have 100% frequency, and at no load frequency is 105%. So the total variation from full load to no load is only 5%, or from no load to full load it is 5%. Therefore the linear increment relation can be applied from no load to full load. So one of the characteristic of this speed regulation governing system is that there is linear relation between no load, linear variation between linear variation in frequency between no load to full load. With this understanding, figure 8.7 shows the linear relationship between frequency and load for free governor operation, with speed changer set to give a scheduled frequency at 100% at full load. So whether we have to have we can set the frequency 100% at full load or at any other load, it is by speed changer setting. The droop, now here the slope of this is let's say this is the figure showing the F and percentage load. So this characteristics is commonly known as droop characteristics. Droop is the slope of this curve because it is in having dropping nature. It is having negative slope. It's a droop. So the droop or slope of the relationship is equal to minus 1 over B plus 1 by R. Power system parameter B is generally much smaller than 1 by R, right? So that B can be neglected in comparison. Typical value of B is 0.01 per unit megawatt per hertz, and 1 by R is 1 by 3. So we can neglect the B in comparison. So with this my equation is more simplified. Delta F is equal to minus R into delta P. The droop of the load frequency control of single area system curve is thus mainly determined by R, the speed governor regulation, right? So the droop is minus 1 over B plus 1 by R, which is just equal to minus R. So this figure shows the steady state load frequency characteristics of a speed governor system. So under what happens under steady state condition? What is the static performance? Whenever the load has been increased, so frequency will reduce. So here if you look at this curve, this curve, so you can see that for 100% change in variation, your frequency changes by 5%. So it means we have the droop, we have the regulation R is equal to 5% for this curve. Similarly, you can obtain that there is 3% change in frequency for change in load from 0 to 60 megawatt. Again, if you do the calculation, the regulation for this curve is also 5%, because it is the regulation is defined as per unit change in frequency per unit megawatt, per unit change in frequency per unit megawatt. So again, for this curve also the regulation is 5%. Now I want to go to another resource of internet. Say here we have assumed that our delta PC is equal to 0. I have taken from this triple E guide. Now, but if delta PC is non-zero, in that case, when the delta PC is 0, what happens that final frequency will be changed. The steady state frequency is not same as the rated frequency. For increase in load demand, the final frequency is less than the rated frequency. But if speed changer setting is also changed, delta PC signal is also changed, so we can do the analysis and we come to the conclusion that in that case delta F is equal to this droop multiplied by delta PC minus delta PD. It means we can achieve the rated frequency again due to the change in load demand by changing the speed changer setting. Say we have to make delta PC equal to delta PD for delta F to be 0. So according to this equation, the frequency change caused by load demand can be compensated by changing the setting of speed changer. So delta PC is equal to delta PD for delta F is equal to 0. This is depicted in the figure. Okay, now I want to discuss some numerical part based on this droop characteristics. So first numerical which I want to take up is this example number 1. I have taken it from slide which was prepared by this professor. So in this example, its example is a 100 megawatt 50 hertz generator is connected to infinite network. How would you increase its turbine power by 5 megawatt? Now see in this example, the generator is connected to the infinite network. It means for infinite network the frequency is decided by the interconnected network system. So in that case, if we want to increase its turbine power, what we can do, we can increase by giving the raise signal to the speed changer setting, speed changer motor. So its turbine power can be increased by 5 megawatt by simply giving a raise signal of 5 megawatt to the speed changer motor. Let us consider the second example. Consider 100 megawatt 50 hertz generator. In the previous example, it has a regulation parameter R of 4%. By how much will the turbine power increase if the frequency drops by 0.1 hertz and the speed changer setting is unchanged? Now here the speed changer setting is unchanged. It means delta PC is 0. So R is 4%. Regulation is 4%. 4% of what? 4% of 50 hertz, because rated frequency is 50 hertz. So regulation is 4% of 50 is equal to 2 hertz. So it means the frequency will drop by 2 hertz from no load to full load. So 100 megawatt variation in the load frequency change will be 2 hertz. So R is 2 by 100, 0.02 hertz per megawatt. Now what we have, we have the change is equal to 0.1 hertz. We can obtain whatever change in load will occur due to 0.1 hertz. The change in load occurs by 0.1 hertz is 5 megawatt. You can go through these relations. If there is a 1 megawatt change in load demand, the frequency change will be 0.02 hertz, and if there is 0.1 hertz change in frequency, the load change will be 5 megawatt. It means if the frequency drops by 0.1 hertz, the load will increase by 5 megawatt. Thus, the turbine power required to be increased by 5 megawatt. To compensate for the increase in load demand of 5 megawatt, the turbine power is required to be increased by 5 megawatt. So this is the case whenever speed changer setting is unchanged. So without delta PC, we are it happens to the regulation of speed governing system. So example 3, consider again 100 megawatt 50 hertz generator. In the previous example, if the frequency drops by 0.1 hertz but the turbine power remains unchanged. Here the difference is that here turbine power is increased, right, but here the turbine power remains unchanged. By how much? So this happens by changing the speed changer setting. So we need to increase the turbine power by 5 megawatt, but if the turbine power remains unchanged, it means the power has been taken from the rotating masses. The power or the energy has been borrowed from the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy will be lower down. So if we want that the kinetic energy should supply the increase in the load demand, in that case the turbine power should remain unchanged. In that case, what happens that we have to lower down the speed changer setting by 5 megawatt. So in that case, speed changer setting should just be lowered down by 5 megawatt. You can go through this example. Now another example is that whenever we have two synchronous generators operating in parallel, how they will share the load. So it's again very important example. You can commonly find out this example in GATE and other competitive examinations. So it's very important to understand this. So please give attention here. It's very important example. There are two synchronous generators operating in parallel, supplying a total of load of 200 megawatt. The ratings of the machine 1 and machine 2 are 100 megawatt and 200 megawatt respectively. Machine 1 and 2 have governor droop characteristic 4% and 3% respectively from no load to full load. Assume that at full load, machines run at rated speed and the system frequency is 50 hertz. Calculate the load taken by each machine and the operating frequency. Now if we draw the regulation curve, if we draw the steady state curve between change in frequency and change in power generation of the two is as follows. Now when the two generators are operating in parallel, the characteristic is that they have the same frequency. Initially machine 1 and so if you look at these figures, so we consider that X megawatt is the load taken by machine 1, and the load taken by machine 2 is 200 minus X megawatt, right? Now in order to obtain the frequency, that what is the frequency of this generator, and what is the frequency of first generator, and what is the frequency of second generator. So how the load is being shared, let us I want to again move to the PowerPoint representation. Okay, yes, let us consider this is the example of first generator. So at 100 megawatt the frequency is 100%, at 0 megawatt frequency is 104%. What is the change in frequency? Change in frequency is 100 to 104 whenever the power demand changes from 100 to 0. So the slope is given by 104 minus 100 divided by 0 minus 100. And let us consider that it is supplying X megawatt. The generator number 1 is supplying X megawatt, and corresponding to X megawatt the frequency is say A. So whenever there is variation from 100 to X, the frequency variation is from 100 to A. So slope is A minus 100 divided by X minus 100. So from this equation we can find out the value of A. A is 104 minus 0.04x. Now go to the second generator case. In the second generator case, this is the speed regulation curve. Whenever the variation is from 200 megawatt to 0 megawatt, the frequency variation is from 100% to 103%. Okay. So here we have the regulation is 3%. Regulation is defined as per unit change in frequency per unit megawatt. So here 1 unit megawatt means the total rated capacity of the unit, total rated capacity of the generating unit. Here the total generating capacity of the unit is 200 megawatt, right? So it is 3%. Now 3% variation for 3% variation in frequency for variation in the load from 200 to 0. Now compare the slopes here. 103 minus 100 variation from 100 to 103 and variation from 200 to 0. So 103 minus 100 divided by 0 minus 200, and whenever it is 200 minus x. Actually, why 200 minus x? Because if the generator number 1 is taking the supplying the load demand x, the generator number 2 will supply the load demand 200 minus x, because the total power which is supplied by two generators is 200. It means x is supplied by generator number 1 and 200 minus x is supplied by generator number 2. So now again we compare the slopes in the both the cases. Whenever the load changes from 200 to 200 minus x, the frequency will change to 100 minus A. A is same in both the cases, because whenever they supply the load, whenever the generators supply the load, the frequency will be same. Now we can find out the frequency by comparing these two equations. We can find out the x by comparing these equations. So again I come to that resource of so here you can find out that the x will have the value 72.73 megawatt. So this is supplied by generator number 1, and 200 minus x 127.27 megawatt is supplied by the generator number 2. and we can find out the common operating frequency of the two generators is 101.09%, which comes out to be 50.545 hertz. Now, one last example I want to take is again very important, and it gives us the very important conclusion, very important concept regarding the regulation. Now, we have two generators which are supplying power to the system. Their ratings are 50 and 500 megawatt respectively, and the frequency is 50 hertz. Each generator is half loaded. So whenever the generator is half loaded, it means generator number 1 is supplying 25 megawatt, okay, and generator number 2, it is supplying the 250 megawatt, just half of the rated values. Frequency is 50 hertz. So now what happens? The system load is increased by 110 megawatt, and as a result frequency drops to 49.5 hertz. The question is, what must the individual per unit regulation be if the two generators should increase their turbine power in proportion to rating? So whenever they have to supply the increase in load demand in proportion to their rating, then what should be their regulation? So for 50 megawatt generator, how much load will be supplied by 50 megawatt generator out of 110, and how much load will be supplied by 500 megawatt generator for a load increase in 110 megawatt. Let us do this. Go to the PowerPoint representation again.